Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. Hey everyone, thanks for being tuned in to KPOV 88.9 FM, High Desert Community Radio in Bend, Oregon. Hope you are having a good day. This is Stacey Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the Cosmic Community. That's our astrology program here every Tuesday, 4:30 to 5 p.m., where we dive into the week's planetary and lunar influences, how the energies may be felt in our day-to-day, and also how we can work with the cycles of the universe to create a more benevolent life for all. So if that is something that sounds good to you, then stay tuned. We've got a great show here. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Of course, that's our calendar New Year. It's not technically our astrological New Year, but we have so many different cycles that we work within, right? And that's what studying astrology is all about, because the zodiac, the astrological zodiac, the wheel in which all the planets, with us, with astrology, we're right in the middle, and everything really goes around us. How true is that? I mean, we truly are the center of our own universes, and that's where we can find, how this truly affects us, because we can kind of know what's out there so that we can work with the energies and create what we want to out of them. Because the world doesn't happen to us. We are we are connected. We are a player in all of this. We must be active and take an active role in creating our life. And so that is why I study the astrology and why I think it's so important for KPOV to have this program. So thanks again for another wonderful 2022 and setting amazing new intentions for the Cosmic Community Astrology moving into 2023. So this week we have the full moon on Friday, which we are working up to. That's January 6th. And here on the high desert, that'll be about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And so if you're tuning in from another time zone, you'll just need to kind of work your times out for where you are. But this week is really focused around this full moon in Cancer that will be approaching on Friday the 6th. And Cancer is known to be a very sensitive sign. This is a water sign, and the first of the 3 water signs in the zodiac. So we really work with the internal when we are here in Cancer energy. And we still have the moon moving through Gemini the first couple of days, the second, the third, the fourth, and then the moon shifts into Cancer on Thursday the 5th, and we start building into this really sensitive, beautiful, emotional, nurturing energy. I mean, one of the big words for Cancer is nurture. So we nurture ourselves, we nurture the things in our life that need to be nurtured, we nurture our children, we nurture our relationships. We really do a lot of nurturing in life. And so Cancer energy helps us connect in with that a little bit more, maybe make us a little more in tune with that. When the moon is in a sign, that the moon is a receptive energy. The moon represents our feelings and our emotions. And with the moon moving into a feminine water sign, it only enhances this energy more. So the full moon in Cancer is known to be one of the most sensitive full moons of the year. So just know that as we are approaching and working with this energy. But on just going back a day, we did have Venus shift into the energy of Aquarius Aquarius. On Saturday, the 31st, Venus and Pluto made a conjunction. I talked about that, spoke to that on the show last week. You can listen to the archive programs on kpov.org, the Cosmic Community Astrology podcast page, or you can, I post them onto Facebook. I also have a YouTube channel. It's called the Cosmic Community Astrology, and you can hear all of the archived programs there also. So if you want to hear more about Venus conjunct Pluto from last week, then you can go back and hear that. And we are officially moving away from that, with Venus separating from Pluto about 3 degrees today and then entering the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign. So as Venus shifts into Aquarius, Venus represents our relationships. Venus represents the balance and harmony in our life, and also love and beauty and art. And so as we move with the Venusian energy into Aquarius, Aquarius is a sign that likes to shake things up. Oh yeah, ruled by the planet of Uranus, which is the groundbreaking energy that can cause, sudden shifts in life, sudden awakenings, realizations that just hit you. Those are all things that could happen to us when we're under the influence of this Aquarius energy. Right now we have Saturn in Aquarius, been there since the solstice of last year, and we still have a good time with Saturn in Aquarius until March of next year. So Venus will be making a conjunction with Saturn, and Saturn is a representation of our responsibilities. Saturn represents all the things we're responsible for, and also Saturn is the energy that's not afraid to say no. Saturn sets boundaries for healthy boundaries for ourselves, but Saturn can also be a bit of a brick wall energy because of those setting boundaries. We can run into a little bit of a brick wall with Saturn, or maybe not even a brick wall that stops us, but more of a reality check that makes us reconsider things. So as Venus is entering this sign of Aquarius, she is needing to have some space. She needs air around her, with Aquarius being the air sign. She needs to be opened up to new ideas. She needs to explore her individuality, which is another big thing with Aquarius energy. So we'll be talking more about Venus in Aquarius, I'm sure, because Venus stays in a sign for a month or two, and sometimes way longer, up to 6 months with a retrograde. But I thought that would be good to just sort of preface the week with the shift of Venus's energy there. So on Wednesday, January 4th, we have a conjunction of the planet of Venus with Jupiter. Jupiter is a huge planet in our solar system, the biggest one, and carries with it a lot of gravity and a lot of energy that is about making things bigger than they are. When you have Jupiter involved, you always get an exaggerated sense of it. You always have this really, it makes everything just really big and intense and to feel really big. So as Jupiter, hits into this sextile with Venus as she has just moved into Aquarius, it's going to not only add more energy to Venus's power, but it's going to also add a little more to her power in Aquarius. And so Jupiter is right now just 1.5 degrees into the sign of Aries, where Jupiter has just entered into a brand new 12-year cycle. So Jupiter's feeling fresh. Jupiter's feeling ready for new opportunities and ready to start something new. So as we enter into this sextile with Venus and Jupiter this week, we could see this energy being very slippery. Sextiles are good, considered to be benevolent. energies. A sextile is 2 signs apart. And that's just a really positive aspect. So we could see these realizations, these sudden awakenings, about things that we love, desire, things we think are beautiful, all those Venusian related things. We could have, a big opportunity to create a new cycle, a new vibe, as we do come into play with Jupiter, just entering into the new 12-year cycle there, sitting at 1 degree of Aries. This is Stacey Dredd, your galactic ambassador in the cosmic community. I am here in the downtown Bend studios. Very much love coming down here and delivering this message each week. And so I really hope that you get something out of it. If you have any questions for me, you can always email me at thecosmiccommunity@kpov.org. Would love to hear from you. Or if you have any suggestions for cosmically inspired music that I should play. The opening song there from Ziggy Marley. I don't want to go to Mars, he said. I want to, even if, what does he say in that song? I just really like it. It's all about love. And I feel like this week is definitely a Venus week. So that's why I started with that song. 444-444-444. All on my clocks here. That's my favorite number. And so this is Stacey Dredd, your galactic ambassador, moving on into talking about the energies of this full moon coming up on January 6th in Cancer. Cancer. What a lovely energy. Cancer is a cardinal sign. So there are just a few different sort of categories that these different signs fall in. We've got cardinal signs, fixed signs, and mutable signs. Cardinal signs are the initiators. They are the cardinal energies are where we really like to start new things, where we're not afraid to reach into trying fresh ideas, creating new ideas. Cardinal signs very much in charge, large and in charge with that. Fixed signs are, as they sound, right? A little more of that stubborn, attitude, a little more stuck in the ways, but as we know, we need to have boundaries. We need to have places where we are fixed in our lives, so we're not just waffling around all the time. So fixed energy is really, really important. And then you have mutable energy, just as important as fixed and cardinal energies. Mutable energies are able to change. They're flexible. So, mutable people that are born under mutable signs or have a lot of mutable energy in their natal charts, they're easy. They're easygoing. They're flexible. They're okay with their plans changing. And also, this energy, when we have a lot of it in the chart, it helps us to embrace change, right? So all of these 3 different energies, they offer beautiful things. Well, Cancer is a cardinal sign, and it's the first water sign of the zodiac, as I mentioned. So this is where we create. We come up with new ideas. We start new things. We start fresh cycles. We express the fact that we might want to start something new, or that we may be craving a new flavor in life. These energies and these thoughts can come across our plate when we are under the influence of these energies. So with a full moon, that's where the moon is going to be in Cancer, looking straight across at the sun in Capricorn. And so, what degree is this at? I didn't have that, but I'm going to say it's right around 15, 16 degrees of Capricorn and Cancer. And this is a very interesting axis. Capricorn is a serious energy. Capricorn is motivated. Capricorn is not afraid to also take steps and make things happen. Another cardinal sign. So this full moon, we have big cardinal energy, and we have the ability to use these energies to create in our lives what we'd like to see. So big opportunity coming later this week, creating some solid intentions around this full moon would probably be a good idea. Practice nurturing yourself and practice nurturing others. That's a huge, huge Cancer. It's like a responsibility of Cancers. They're nurturers. They want to make sure everybody in the room is taken care of. And the Cancer person and the Cancer energy isn't going to be comfortable themselves in the room until everybody else in the room is comfortable. So that can be a slippery slope to go down. So again, you get to choose your experience here. You get to choose how you nurture and how you use this really sensitive full moon energy. Other things that Cancer represents is the home and the family and mothers and their children. Mother, because feminine energies, because we all look towards the mother for that nurturing. So that's what this nurturing of Cancer really represents, is the nurturing that a mother gives to a child, ideally. And the home and the family is going to be very much highlighted this week. And as we move through this full moon energy, we could be feeling this Venus sextile Jupiter this week also, and feeling like we are ready to start a new cycle and all this cardinal energy. I don't know. I just think it could be really, really strong new beginnings if that is something that you are needing in your life right now. Maybe even a time to conceive. I don't know. Starting new things, right? Maybe just making that choice with your partner, hey, let's expand the family, or hey, let's expand our home. Like, let's make a goal to, have some expansion within our home and our family. The full moon allows a large expression. So the full moons are known to draw out the lunatic in people. Luna being the Latin root word for the moon. Lunatic being a word that comes from that root word. And so that's really fun when you kind of start looking into that and seeing really, truly, what you can access right here. You make a decision, that you want expansion, and the full moon can provide that. It's big energy. There's big opportunities. We got Jupiter in play. So something big, could take place. Also, things that are ruled by Cancer are the weather and the climate. There being a water sign, we could see some big flooding taking place, which I didn't even think about it before I said that, but there is like massive amounts of flooding going on a lot of places because of those big storms that we had. And so we're still going to be dealing with all of that this week. We could see a resurgence. It could get worse before it gets better. That's just me reading the astrological energies. I don't make predictions. I just read the energies. And so don't be surprised if you see lots of water around you this week. Water, rain, snow, flooding, maybe your pipes have burst. People are just crying, just lots of flowing water all over the place. Stay hydrated. Hydration reminder for all, because water issues are all wrapped up in Cancer energy. And that's also the water in our bodies. And with the moon coming in to form this full moon, the moon is very much plays into that. And another thing that Cancer is really, really amazing with is the psychic abilities. All water signs are just like naturally kind of psychic. And mothers, they're kind of like a little bit psychic about their children, like the needs of the children, and really learning and being able to provide and nurture for the needs without, creating more of an issue, right? We want to learn each other so that we can deal each other with in better ways. So knowing, your children are certain signs, you have a Taurus child, with a Cancer moon, you could know that, this week being Taurus being a Venus ruled sign and the full moon in Cancer, that this could be a big emotional week for that child, just knowing that kind of thing, could be super helpful for a parent. So maybe this is the week where you decide to look up the astrological charts of your children and study it, and then say to yourself, you know what? Now knowing this, I'm going to take the high road, and I am going to apply this knowledge and nurture myself, this relationship, and this child in this way that is going to be much more positive moving forward. So I don't know. These are just all things that kind of like come to my head as I move through talking about these energies. So I think it's going to be a good one. It's a good time to just keep taking care of yourself, even like taking baths or allowing yourself to cry, accessing water, swimming. Maybe go down and do that polar plunge that you were thinking about doing. I don't know. Just access water as a healing component this week. So moving into just a little bit of the last energies for this week, I will be back next Tuesday on the 10th for another report. On Saturday, the 7th, the sun is going to come into a conjunction with Mercury. Mercury is retrograde right now. And so we also have Mercury at its perihelion. The perihelion is the point where a planet is the closest to the sun in its orbit. And we have a conjunction between the sun and Mercury this week. And so this could be hot, right? The sun, hot. Mercury, hot, very close to the sun, going to be even hotter, being closest to the sun in its orbit. And so sun conjunct Mercury, we could be expressing ourselves. The sun is very much, basically represents ourself and our needs and ourselves in the chart. And Mercury represents our communication. Mercury is the messenger of the gods, and Mercury is retrograde right now. Retrograde means that Mercury is redoing, rethinking, reevaluating this section of Capricorn where the retrograde cycle is taking place. So Mercury, when in retrograde, slows everything down. If you've noticed that you've been having a hard time keeping things connected to the internet or your cable, Mercury retrograde. If you've been noticing that it's been taking forever to get around and do your errands, or you keep having to turn around because you forget things, Mercury retrograde. If you've noticed that you got something in your mind and you don't know how you could ever forget this thing and then you just forget it, Mercury retrograde. So give yourselves a little extra space this week for moving around and for thinking and for thought processes. As the sun comes into this conjunction with Mercury, we could see people expressing themselves and expressing themselves in regards to something that may need to be looked at again, right? Retrograde, Mercury in retrograde. So we're going to be talking about things from the past, things that we are reworking, things that we are looking to redo. Really, really interesting energy this week. As I am just discussing it now, I felt how strong these new cycles were coming in early this year, but this week truly is like a catapult into the future. If you got goals, you got things that you're working on, use this week as an opportunity to refresh your ideas, rethink some things from the past, come up with some new options, some new plans. We still have Mars in Gemini, so we're still retrograding in Gemini, Mars retrograding in Gemini. So we're still reworking and rethinking and considering options there too. So this is not the week though to make decisions or sign contracts. Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde. Let's take our time. Let's even take 2 or 3 more weeks to come up with our New Year's resolution. It's not really good astrological energy for New Year's resolutions right now. Come the end of January, that's going to be a great time for that. Right now is the time for thinking, for thought, to be sensitive, to take in any kind of psychic messages from the gods that may be coming in, and just enjoy it. I hope you have a good week. And if you need to get a hold of me, you can email me at thecosmiccommunity@kpov.org. This has been Stacey Dredd, your galactic ambassador. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.